According to Eric Asadorian, our culture is not what we think it is. What we see as our individual cultures that are formed around shared values, ideas, and norms are really part of a larger culture, a culture that has been steadily and rapidly increasing over the last 100 years or so. It is the culture of consumerism. I am old enough to remember the Berlin Wall's fall in 1989, made real and poignant by the vast array of movies that abounded before to tell the bleak and stark contrast from the East and West. Where the West was the new and modern place, the East was stuck in the old of communism. One television a household is set on the East, larger and more beautiful television choices on the West. The West was where you got to have whatever your heart desired. It is this desire that Asadurian says was fueled by a systemically reinforced and by an increasingly dominant cultural paradigm, consumerism. It is this consumerism that has led us to the place where we are using more than the world can provide. It was before that the resources you used were those that surrounded your home. It was not shipped from overseas or over the country. Now we use the equivalent of 112 Empire State Buildings from the earth every single day. The problem is that some, if not most, of the sustainable acts people are doing now are wrong. They are in actuality unsustainable or degraded. Asadurian found in a 2005 study from Millennium Ecosystems Association that 60% of our ecosystem regulations were degraded or unsustainable. What does all this have to do with consumerism? A lot. Because consumerism has become our culture. It has become the norm. Today is November 2nd. Go into any store and you will see decorations for Christmas. The stores have decorations up to highlight the small differences between this year and last year. Never mind that you just bought things last year. You need to be in the now and in the current season. In America alone, consumers spent in 2008 on average $721. This consumptive practice is consuming the world we inhabit. Asadurian says the first thing that must change if we are to begin a decade-long reversal of the damage done is shift the idea that stuff means happiness. In this VeggieTales clip, the fact the blueberry does not have new things is the way we have been conditioned. Asadurian states that the second thing we need to do is to lessen the amount of private consuming and bring out more ways to be public consumers, and how that can ease some of the burden. More public transit, providing more open park spaces. With that comes the responsibility of stopping mass production of non-consumable items, the idea of cradle to cradle, as Asadurian puts it. Each year, cell phones get new, computers don't work without the proper systems, and cars are adding more and more navigational guides. Until we stop this mass consumption of non-consumptive goods, the pattern of 65 high-income countries accounting for 75% of the consumption cost, but under 20%, like 16% of the population, our planet will not be able to continue. According to Eric Asadorian, our culture is not what we think it is. What we see as our individual